Hello everybody, welcome to another What If video, and welcome back to Warner Productions. In this video, I'm going to go over what if there was a Spider-Man cinematic universe, something Sony has been trying to do for years, but failing nonetheless. But what if they had a structure like the MCU is basically what this video is going to be. Anyways, I'm sorry if I haven't posted a lot of videos in a while. I've just been very busy. The schedule I used to have for like a bunch of video plans for this year is kind of non-valid anymore, but it's still valid. But anyways, let's get to the video. So starting off, we have a Spider-Man movie, and this will be, of course, be an origin movie. It'll come out in 2008. The main villain will be Doc Ock, played by Alfred Molina. Gwen Stacy will be the love interest in this movie, and Harry Osborn will also be in this film, of course, as Peter's best friend, and Harry will be dating Mary Jane Watson in this movie as well. After that, another point to include, John Stacy will be in this movie, but he'll be killed by Doc Ock by accident, like in the comics. And he'll probably have a similar line to the TASM movie. Norman Osborn will, of course, be in this film, be the main reason why Otto became Dr. Octopus. But that's basically everything I want you to know there. As for who's playing Spider-Man, I'm just going to go with Andrew Garfield. He seems like a good casting choice for Spider-Man in 2008. After that, we're going to move on to the next film, which will be a Sandman movie. Now, it'll be an origin movie, and Hydra Man will be the main villain. After Sandman, we move on to the Spider-Man sequel, which can either be titled Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man, or Spider-Man Flight of the Vulture. As the name implies, Vulture will be the main villain. And it'll kind of like explore more of Peter and Gwen's relationship, and we'll have a ton of different villains. And getting into who the villains are going to be, of course, I've already mentioned Vulture. His main goal is just stealing from Oscorp. He used to work for Oscorp, but he hates Norman Osborn, and that's why he left Oscorp, and he steals from Oscorp. Electro will be in this movie, working with the Vulture as well as the Tinkerer. This is a similar movie to Spider-Man Homecoming, by the way. There will also be some small villains, like the Shocker will make one appearance in this movie alongside Hammerhead. Vulture will sell weapons in this movie, so there can be cameo appearances between these Spider-Man villains. Then we have a Kraven the Hunter movie, which will focus on Kraven. This will be an origin movie. As for who the main villain will be, it'll be Kraven's half-brother, Chameleon. And basically, Kraven has been an animal hunter, but eventually, after he hunted down all the animals in the world, he became a bounty hunter. And when he heard he was going to hunt down his brother, he was more than happy to hunt him down. Then we have a Black Cat movie. The movie will just be titled Black Cat. And the main villain will be Tombstone, who also in this movie killed Black Cat's father, so she's going after revenge. But Tombstone won't be the only villain. His daughter, or aka the Beetle, will be in this movie just to have some cool fight scenes. That's basically why she'll be in this film. Then we have the final third Spider-Man movie, which can either be titled The Spectacular Spider-Man, but I don't think that works for what the movie is. So, like, it could be called Spider-Man 3, or Spider-Man Sins of a Father, or Spider-Man Green Goblin, or Spider-Man Enter the Green Goblin. A lot of different titles you can have here. But who the main villain will be, it will be the Green Goblin. But there'll also be other characters show up here. Black Cat will be in the movie. Sandman could make a small appearance, but not 100%. I will have Hammerhead be involved in the movie, as well as Shocker, but not too big of a roles. It's really just Spider-Man against the Green Goblin. Learning that Norman Osborn and Oscorp has just been like bad and terrible. It will be based off the night when Stacy died, and basically she'll die in the climax, killed by, of course, the Green Goblin, who can die and have a similar fate to Green Goblin from the 2002 Sam Raimi Spider-Man film, because I think that works, but he won't be fully dead, and I'll get into more of that later in the video. Anyways, after that, I am sort of switching Iron Man 3 and Thor the Dark World a little bit. So the next movie will be a Kraven sequel, which can be titled Kraven Enter the Far Lands, which is basically a prehistoric land somewhere in Antarctica. It's kind of weird in the comics. I don't know how you can really make it sort of realistic. I'm not really sure who the villain will actually be. I know there's like some sort of character that Kraven sort of raised somehow, but I forgot it's like some sort of alien species. I don't know, but you can have him as the main villain. I don't know if any of y'all know what I'm talking about. Some maybe hardcore comic book fans probably know, but either way, it's just a Kraven movie where he enters the Far Lands. That's basically what the villain or main plot of the film is. Then we have Spider-Man movie where Kraven Hunter's hunting down Spider-Man. The Lizard will also have a role in this movie, and the movie can be called Spider-Man The Ultimate Hunt, and that's what this film will be about. Kraven hunting down the Lizard, and Spider-Man, knowing who the Lizard is, has to prevent Kraven from killing the Lizard. Spider-Man will cause the Lizard to happen, and the climax is a Spider-Man versus Kraven versus Lizard battle. After that, we have a Black Cat sequel, which will be titled Black Cat Silver Sable. And, of course, as the name implies, Silver Sable will be in this movie, and she'll basically be the Winter Soldier of this universe. She won't be the main villain, however, as who the main villain will be is Silvermane. And I was originally planning do what the Spectacular Spider-Man show did. Silver Sable will be Silvermane's daughter, but that sounds too similar to the first Black Cat movie, so instead she's just working for Silvermane. Anyways, after this movie, we have an Enforcers movie. This movie won't have a main antagonist. It's just like the Enforcers pulling off like the ultimate heist. That's basically what the whole movie will be about. Really nothing more. As you could see, the people of the Enforcers are what you see in front of you. After that is a Spider-Man movie, which can either be called Spider-Man Venom or Spider-Man Symbiote. Either way works. Spider-Man, I forgot to mention this, but Spider-Man got the Venom symbiote in his fourth movie. So here is where we see Venom, and basically Spider-Man has to stop Venom. Also, Hobgoblin can have a role in this movie as well. Next up is a Sinister Six movie, and the Sinister Six movie's main villain will be Mr. Negative, and they'll be formed by Kingpin. The the people of the Sinister Six will be like the original Sinister Six lineup: Mysterio, Vulture, Sandman, Electro, Doc Ock, and Kraven. And their goal is to stop Mr. Negative. Spider-Man won't be in the movie. He can really just make a cameo. You can have a scene of him stopping Mysterio when he introduce his character, but that's just explaining Mysterio's backstory since he never really appeared in any other film. After that is the final movie of Phase 2, which will be a Spider-Man 2099 movie, which of course will take place in 2099. Basically, the company Miguel O'Hara was working for recreated the radioactive spider that bit Spider-Man, and there you have it. The movie begins. But it won't be the end of the movie, of course. It's not going to be in the movie. Vulture 2099 can show up and have a small appearance. But basically, the company that caused Miguel O'Hara to get his powers is also sort of like trying to master time travel. At the end of the film, Spider-Man, or this version of Spider-Man, gets sent to the past. Next up, we have another Sinister Six movie, which will be called Sinister Six. Oh, well, actually, I don't know what the movie will actually be called. Sinister Six, A Sinister War or something, as they fight another version of Sinister Six. This version of Sinister Six will have people like the Shocker, Rhino, the Boomerang, Black Cat, and Silver Sable, since Black Cat joined forces with Silvermane. Silvermane, of course, will be the main antagonist. I forgot who was originally supposed to be the last member. I think maybe someone random, like, oh wait, sorry, I remember. I just remembered, guys. It was Hydra Man. So that will be the roster, as you can see before you, and after that we'll move on to the next movie, and we'll have Black Cat's like next film, which will take place after the events of Sinister Six: A Sinister War, and she's being hunted down by like a bunch of different small time rogues from Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. But the main antagonist will be Grizzly. He was hired by Kingpin to hunt her down, and basically that's what the movie will actually be. The next film will be a sequel to The Enforcers. As for who the main villain can be, it can be someone like Molten Man or the Kangaroo. If you don't know who the Kangaroo is, he's not a big Spider-Man villain. After this, we have Spider-Man 6 film, which will be titled Spider-Man Sinister Six, or Spider-Man The Sinister Six, or Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six. Also, a side note here, Kraven was replaced with Hobgoblin in the second Sinister Six movie, and he'll still be replaced in this film as well. But at the end of the film, Spider-Man sends the Sinister Six to the Ravencroft Institute and stops Kingpin. Kingpin goes to prison. This causes a massive power grab that will kind of affect the next Sinister Six movie. After that, we have Kraven's third film, which will have Kraven's son as the main villain. That's basically the whole story. It will really just explore what's been going on with Kraven after the events of Sinister Six, why he wasn't in the sequel or in the Spider-Man movie, and we'll just explore more of his character, his past, and just things like that. Next up will be a kind of like a New York City police movie replacing Black Panther. It'll kind of be a prequel with John Stacy sorta as the main character and have Hammerhead as the main villain before he actually got that hammer in his head, and we'll just explore Hammerhead and just John Stacy. After that, we have Sinister Six Goblin Nation, and we'll focus on Sinister Six like forming back together. Spider-Man will of course be in this movie, and it will just be a big movie, an Infinity War like movie. After this, we're going to get into the two movies before the final film. Spider-Man 2099, Now in the Past, will be the next film, as Spider-Man, this version of Spider-Man, is now in the past, and he's being hunted down by the Scorpion, who thinks he's Spider-Man. And this takes place like on the west coast. Sorry, I can't talk right now. After that, well, exploring 2099, his goal is to actually find Spider-Man of this time. But now that I've got that covered, let's move on to Spider-Woman, the next movie. And this will just explore sorry, I cannot talk, man. Her origin story, and we'll focus and explore her, like how she became who she became. Gustav Fierce, aka the Gentleman, will be the main villain of this film, and you could say he's working for Green Goblin, or Goblin King now, as I should call him. Anyways, moving on, we have the next movie, Web of Spider-Man, which is the final Endgame movie, as Spider-Man teams up with both the Sinister Six, a few other Spider-Man small-time rogues, Black Cats, the Enforcers, Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Woman, basically everybody you've seen in the past films stopping the Goblin Nation. Hobgoblin's also on their side, by the way. He's not against them. But at the end of the film, Spider-Man makes a sacrificial death, killing both him and Norman Osborn. How Norman survives, just to survive the glider that killed him, and he's just been alive all this time, secretly forming his secret Goblin Nation. And his goal is to kind of turn New York into his own country and spread it all across America. But Spider-Man stops that, and that is basically the whole movie. There is no Far From Home replacement, because I think that should be pushed to Phase 4 for this universe. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And yeah, that's the whole Web Saga, or Goblin Saga, or whatever. Bye.